So I wouldn't have a phone at all. I can't budget anymore. He doesn't know anything. You know, something kids, rich men know. A man that's got learned a lot about economics knows what's going on. I can't keep on budgeting anymore. You know, I'm living on the food bank, and that's all he wants me to do. I'm getting sick. I got a good lawsuit, and I learned some skills. Put it together and go to Ottawa, because this is an endless march, this damn writing. And it's just round and round and round and round and round and round go. I think there's money laundering and everything can here. So I used AI again, and I hunted up a lawyer that does. Well, it's like Walmart. That's what I need. I can buy booze over there, and any store that's a superstore was a super right thing for me. Civil litigation against real estate and elder abuse. Oh yeah, and malpractice. Found a AI in Ottawa. This is the right storm. I think Carney will get in. I hope so. Because this is what I'm going through. Why did the kids take me down? Because this free market stuff. I've learned a lot of things. When you're going through a hard time, you say no to somebody, they'll go and try to do something else and make it work. And they have made it work. A young lady there came to me. I just want a friend. Well, I have no time to be a friend. Well, the rejection seemed to put out something there. She started a YouTube channel. She's going to make money to get back on her feet. We have our own empowerment if we go through hard times. And I think a lot of people are starting to wake up that Mike Carney will be the answer because these guys are just, we can see around everything. When the rats come out, they come out. We want an economic model that works. Mike Harris, Stephen Harper, and all those guys are libertarian in Hurt, Ontario. I think Doug Ford's starting to amalgamate into opening the gold mines up and working against this system. There's a couple of things I'll tell you about stories about progressive conservatives that shift ship when Stephen Harper was in. She was running this riding, and I was getting along with her. She was a progressive conservative cabinet minister, Elena Georges. Do you know her? Well, he humiliated her. See, her husband is racism. Husband was Muslim, right? Well, he had a scandal boy in there that said he was a private detective. Well, she won $9 million back on that and joined the Liberal Party. She sued him, sued the Conservative Party. Now, any good politician that's progressive conservative wants to keep some infrastructure in will be Doug Ford, and he's working with the police. He's giving them more money. I think Doug's not the enemy. Like, each party has a provincial thing. I think Doug's looking at the right thing here. He knows Mark Carney. He actually joined up with Trudeau when they found that fire line of gold up in northern Ontario. He opened up and he agreed with him. And he knows there's gold over there in near eastern Ontario and northern Ontario. Quebec, a whole pit of it. Now, everybody's saying Mark Carney is giving the gold back. Well, we're a Commonwealth. How much gold are we finding? As a Commonwealth country, I think we give back to England to get their banks straight. It's all lies all the time. I think we'll look at that. Bank of England, build it up, work with the Commonwealth United. There's a lot of garbage going on here. Now, can I find this stuff that he's saying? I hear a lot of people saying, well, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's the only hope we got. Because these guys are inflating the market. I can't. I had a pension. It's not going to go up that much to survive. I don't want to live here. I fell on the floor. I got medical records. See, he doesn't really think about things. I'm fairly intelligent, but you're starting to disagree with me. I don't think you're very intelligent, know what I know. Some men get dementia. I think he's got dementia, working for a system that's not working. You can't help the kids here with this market. They'll always be getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. We got to end the free market system. It's causing drug addiction. It's causing crime. Of course, they're angry. They need housing. They know homes. They don't need slough riders of the real estate market. They need banks need stable government. Put the gold back in the bank and regulate it. Now he's not getting you off fossil fuels right away. He's getting you to a gray zone so you can drive. Carbon tax is only charged on what you use. He's cutting GST out for getting homes. Holy cow, you got a foundation of your home, which is an asset, and you can lever up on it. That is an asset value. Living in a room is not an asset. Living in a home is not an asset. It's a future for Canada to get back on its feet. So he's a professor of economics structure. These other ones, what do we call them? Politicians or bureaucrats? We need money in the banks. We need our economy fixed, and we need military power. We're going to have money. We're going to have investment. We're going to have security for young people to get ahead in Canada. Not this stuff. This is sloth riding. I was listening to her. She said, it's not landlord class. It's worse. It's no ownership class. The prices are going up and up and up and up. And criminality is hidden away in... you clean that up and you're clearing all the mustard out of the garbage, which is money laundering and racketeering in the system. The criminal money will go into the high-priced housing because there's nothing else. Nobody can buy it, but the criminal money will go in there. So that's what's happening. But he won't listen to me. He doesn't know what they're going to impeach, probably Trump. There's a lot of people want him out. And we can't divide up this country. This is Canada, for crying out loud. I'm a federalist, and I'm a person that wants every province to have enough money. Alberta's housing prices are crazy, aren't they? Come on. Supply and demand is starting to go up. Wasn't that in 2019? So I'm on the side of Alberta. But, it's not to get rid of your oil fields. It's not doing that. It's just to keep a carbon tax and quit listening to the liar. Now, the other thing I'm listening to is this Nessus. I think it's Russian. They're offering plans and all that. It's a scam. Don't get into it. And they're even going against God. I heard it. They're atheists. Jesus taught, build your gold. The heaven is gold. Well, we can have heaven on earth if we balance the budget. Everybody has enough to live on and have a happier life. More family and more security and a good life in Canada. It's a win-win. BC's housing market's right over the flipper, and so is Ontario's. You can't budget me down more. I got to use something else. So I found that firm using AI. That's the secret weapon. Because nobody knows anything on here. And the earning psychology of a business is to tiver up, and creativity too. Creativity is not to diagnose people crazy because they're creative. Change their mind. They look at the demographics of the area and they say, I don't want to go there. So I don't see shrink. I don't see those psychologists. I've learned my own psychology because they didn't know anything. Am I arrogant? Well, I don't give a damn. I'm getting out of Canada if he wins, because I'll be the end of Canada if you keep this free market system going. Regulatory market is freedom for every Canadian, a house for you to live in. And then that's the foundation, the house. Then we can build jobs. We can have security. You know, if I go back to the early days of Canada and the United States, it was the pioneer that built the house, had the foundation, and he could expand it from there because it was an asset of value. Think about that. That's not communism, is it? Is it communism? I don't think so. It's means of production and a foundation that builds up on it. I like everything I've read about Mark Carney. He's liberal, and I don't care. I've always liked liberal. I've never liked what results I've seen with Stephen friggin' Harper. He wasn't using value. You know, those lights in that ceiling there, they're 7 watts. So they put them in and they're of value because they don't burn out, right? Yeah, that's the value. They last and they're energy efficient. So all sorts of energy efficient, good products of Energy Star quality. You know, hot water tanks that are direct, not wasting fuel. You get direct heat. These are all good systems. So what did he do? We had this energy program, and he threw out them. Oh, you should build the value of your house up by putting marble countertops in instead of energy first savings. You know what I mean? Listen, I was in the Green Party, but you know we knew the Liberals were about the only one we could work with because these guys are oil fascists. Let's face it. And they built this economy up of free market racketeering, right even out to BC. The British Columbia people out there are very environmental because they love the nature and the beauty out there, don't they? But what drove it up? The libertarian free market system. So we got to get rid of that. Maybe BC and Burnaby with their hippie flags and the oil patch kid disco and saying we're going to shove these plastic up your butt, you bunch of hippies. Burnaby stood strong, pretty strong to keep the city of Burnaby kept out Kinder Morgan. Yeah, they kept them out. Were they hippies? No, it was the community of Burnaby, the city. So the court justice ruled that Kinder Morgan pays the bill for the police. The police left. They couldn't sit around and let that go on and on and on. And they stood out and they got it. But what did they do? They pushed Kinder Morgan through again. So we're living on a voting system of no transparency, first past the post with 5 parties. That's not a coalition government. Now, Carney is the only one guy, Mark Carney's the only one guy that's making sense. So I want to hear something makes sense. And that's the whole kicker. I know I've been living on nothing. He says, we'll budget you down. How the hell can you budget me down? I'm trying to get out of Canada. So I got to pay for a phone that I got to afford. And it's not cheap. I got to have calling to Australia. It's going on a bus out of here. And if you don't help me out, I'll sue you. I'll sue the whole organization. I'm writing it down. If you start telling me to go to your budget boy when you're living on canned food. I've fallen on the floor. I had no help here. That's elder abuse. And that's a good lawsuit. Well, that's not their fault. Location. You're supposed to look up where you're building. If you're having a senior's apartment by the government, you're supposed to have services. I can't afford both. I can't afford a housekeeper. They got to live in the houses. So what do you think I'm going to live on? Fresh air? He gave me the 29th. Well, I called a lawyer up there, and I think I'm going to have it covered. If I don't, I'm on the thing. I'm going to scan the documents, and I'll send every damn thing out there. Because I got I've been paying for some programs. I got a scanner. I can scan every document I got, lots of them, and I'll show the corruption and everything. I've been taking pictures of what I think's a money laundering racket. We can explore it. I'm giving them all the information because we got to crack this racket down. You know what money laundering is? It's criminal money going into this real estate thing. I'm looking at about a four acres. Not much. $16,000,000. Nothing on it. It's land holdings. So I look around and all I see is people selling out. Get the hell out, and they're taking the money and buying it. I look at Seniors Ventures Club there. I looked on the wall. Oh my Lord, that's not ethical. They got those prime rate lenders. No, they're reverse mortgage. Any bank would tell you that's the worst thing to get into because you're giving away your assets. You got assets that you can borrow on. A bank would allow you and probably a lower interest rate. So if we can get the major banks level, we'll have a better government. So you don't like the label liberal. I always did. I don't like this. Never liked Stephen Harper at all. And David Suzuki says he should throw him in jail. Why did Dr. David Suzuki and Neil Young team up? So they know what's going down. I know what's going down too. You should know too. He's a little older than me. David Suzuki's much older. He knows what's going down. It's a volatility. We all pull in the reins here. You're letting the horse out too much and he's running wild. That's the free market system. So we got to bring up some, haul back on those reins there, boys and girls, so we can have housing for the young people, a future, and some assets. But a lot of his stuff I'm hearing on here is fiction. I don't believe that Mark Carney is selling off all our gold. There must be enough in that. They're finding gold up there by the troves. Sure, they've got an open pit, but there's a lot of gold. So the Bank of England needed money because they did steal money from, and that's a payback. They need some bullion behind them. We are a commonwealth, and we support each other. So if it goes out to England, they'll support us. They got to build their economy up. Does that make sense? I hope so. I can't listen to him saying stay and go get somebody to cut my budget down. I can't even afford it. It's starting to come down in price because I put a Wi-Fi in. But it won't come down in price unless I keep paying. And I got to have a phone plan that gets to Australia because I don't want to live in Canada. I want to go home to my country that's got a good economy. Okay, you hear me? I want to be an Australian and I'm a descendant of Australian. I want in there. And I'll make a good life there. I don't want to live in Canada with this housing market. Australia's tailing it down. It's not going to be good for a while, but it's going to get there. Things are changing. I'm listening to him, and he's making sense. And I can go up to Ottawa, use the Ottawa embassy for Australia. I use migration agent lawyers. I'm going to get this cleaned up. But I'm not listening to him. I don't want to live in Canada. I've lived in Australia, and I like it better for the type of work I do. I'm in horses. I'm in music industry. I don't like Canada. It's all crap music. Needs to change. I can go to England even. But Canada, Australia is a better, I think it'll be a good pick. England's a possibility. I can get in by ancestral descent or by, I can get out British citizenship. But it's cold and it's expensive there, and there's 285 million people on the little island. Look at this 285 million people. They're getting housing, I guess. Hope so. But look at Canada 44 million, and a lot have left. You know how many people have left Canada? 200. Two Canadian seniors had to leave. So it should be more room. 245,000 people last in 1 year. Canadian pensioners. They can't live on this. Why can't we? Because you kids aren't doing right. So you're going to have to charge for more money. Nobody can retire here. So we have to, I think he's the kicker. It makes sense. The housing market is the enemy. It's the free market system. You might not like Ralph. I like him. And if I'm wrong, why am I talking to a broker that's trying to sell houses in Ottawa? We want Mark Carney in because she's sustainable housing brokerage. And she knows I want to sell more and have a sustainable market business. The others are sort of suicide, kamikaze, free market real estate. They know they're going to die, but they're jumping anyways. I've talked to them. I said, this will all go to crash. Yeah, but I'm going to keep on making money. Well, and then the growth said it's like laying on the beach, and there's no tsunami yet. It's going to be soon. It's getting pretty close. If I'm not eating, I'm living on the food bank, I think it's time to go. I'm not happy here. I want to be happy. What makes me happy? I can live in a hotel while I'm getting across Canada. If I get the business going, even if I don't get that going, I can crack this down. They can't take any money on me. My pensions, and if I didn't make it, they just open up the account and off book it because this is he doesn't know anything. AI is doing searches and finding facts about this. You're got a tribunal against being evicted. They can pay that off with opening up the account. They will open up my pension account on that. But they might also look at the whole problem here and sue. Even the federal government might sue. I've gone through elder abuse. I've gone through refused rights for medical treatment. That's a lawsuit. I got emotional harm, 133,000. I'll make money somehow. He wants me to stay. I know why. Because he might be up on litigation. It's not his fault, but he's following the institutionalized system that doesn't work. If he loses his job, he can find. I'll help him out. He's a nice guy, but he won't work for me because I'm making sure I'm not going to take any more of this. When I'm trying to help veterans, I don't want to hear you say, won't give me money because you're all bums. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear, well, yes, sir, we honor our Canadian veterans, but I don't want to hear you handing out the Trillium Fund and saying they're all bums. I don't want to hear that. No, I don't want to hear that. And I don't want to hear that I haven't got rights being in the hospital 3 days, laying on the floor with influenza A. Say I haven't got a case. I think I do. It's in the thing there. I'll get all those records of it. And we'll dish it out. I'm not going to listen to anybody anymore. Sit here and live on the food bank for 5 friggin' years. You think I'm nuts? I've had it. No help, no, you got me well. I got to stay on a walker. That's what they do. They go walk around on walkers so they can get services. I like to walk. So I think that's a bit of corruption. I don't take that. And I want to be well and leave the country if you're going to start forcing seniors to go to nursing homes. All I need is some money back. So I'm 70. Dementia, huh? No, stood up for my rights. I've been pretty stoic and I've been swearing at people because I can't stand bimbos and I can't stand apathy and old farts that say just institutionalization. We need housing and affordability. It'll save money. What a stupid thing to say. So I've studied economics too, and I want to study Australian economics. I want to have a lot of money so I can sit back and go to the pub and buy and travel anywhere in Australia. I don't want to live like this. I'm entitled. My brother said you'd be coming out of this pretty good. I think I will, with more money than you think I will. I think I'll come up with the jackpot. It was 500,000, millions now. People that cheat, you gotta either report them and let them go to jail, but I don't make any money on that. So it's going to be a litigation. And I know I can win it. I got enough evidence. So I'm falling asleep. Don't mind me. I go into dazes. I think I'm getting drained on here. Take care. I can't sit here. But this is what I mean. We gotta really work together. Nobody's working together. There's like bugs numb. Think about it. We're like numb bugs not working together to fight this